Hey guys, so we're gonna have a pretty short vid this week since we know they're buying energies. We'll stay there. We'll see if that goes two again or if we're going inside to consolidate. Same with the XOP, same with the OIH. So all that stuff. And then on Monday, you have a NVDA conference. So NVIDIA, either side of this inside week gets our attention. And since it's a conference, it should be volatile if they're talking about good things. Tells you can also be looking at things like AMD, potentially inside day could get the week going if things are good with NVIDIA. If you go to SMCI, you'll also have an inside week. If things are bad, SWKS, you could have the 3-3-2-2 back through it. You can see shooter counters hammer back into a 3. Magnitude's down here, so it has some range to go after at the Momo shooter day. If we go to QCOM, you'll also have an inside week there, so either side of that gets our attention. Still has this big old try they're coming through. And then we already know Marvel, that one has had some issues. So it goes 3 on the day. We'll see if we're going to get the triangle 3-2 continuation or the 3-2-2 on a turnaround Tuesday or something. But so far the month is red, so we don't really want to buy that one. Although it could be triangle out and back up, we prefer to just really send this home to come back through these guys. But we'll have to see with that NVIDIA and the new weekly continuity that we're getting. We also did see like MU is a little bit weaker, but you can see they recover and then they go shooter day. So if that goes shooter down, it could go 2 down again on the week, back into the 3 on the month from all-time highs exhaustion. If it goes 2 up again, maybe it goes 2-2-2 week and recovers that monthly to stay out of that 3. So it's going to depend a lot on that NVIDIA, and we'll obviously also be watching the SMH. So that one did go shooter 2-2 week, didn't do anything, ran out of time to try and take this out. Momo shooter day, but again, with NVIDIA, that will be a deciding factor there. So we'll keep an eye on those to start the week. Later in the week, we do have a lot of stuff coming out. So you'll see this. We get the Fed on Wednesday. So Tuesday could be pretty lackluster prior to the Fed. That's just something we want to be aware of. So we don't have to go out guns blazing. If we've been trading the energies, then we can stick there and just have those trades going. And with the materials, those aren't anywhere near reverse in the week. The day is closer to a 3-2 up, so those are also still going to be something we'd like to see continue. Gold will have the inside week, and this will be decided by the Fed because whatever the Fed decides to do, gold's either going to keep going up or potentially comes back in, and that's going to be trading inverse the Dixie, so DXY. You can see inside week. They did poke up to start, but came back in slightly, so we'll see. Are they going 3 of that, or are we going to stay up and out above 103.494? Same with silver. It was a little stronger last week compared to gold. Does have a shooter day going into Monday, but nowhere near 2 back down on the week. And all the miners and stuff are going to be, JNUG. You can see recovers with a 3, nowhere near a 2 down week, which means your 3-2 here, still good. If we go to the month, still a 2-2 month in force. So all the evidence we had to start with those 3-2 weeks across all the precious metals materials stuff, that's still there. Go to GDX. Could go 2-2 next week, so we'll be a little bit more careful with that. But still, if it doesn't, nowhere near taking this stuff out, that month is still a 2-2 back up. So as long as that stays the case above 29.14 on the month, it would still be a buy. If they start coming back below that, then we might have some issues, and that'd be a reason to start getting out of that stuff. But to start the week, that's what we're going to be looking at. As far as signals go, SPY, you will have the inside week, inside and down. If we started coming back into these guys, 504.75, then we'd have some pretty big problems because at that point would be a 2 going through month. Qs, closer to a 2 down week, did slightly recover at the close above the 3. So we'll see what that's doing in the after hour session. They are up slightly. So if it goes 2-2 day, could come back through these guys. If they go continuation down or take out last week's lows and stay down, back into this 3. So we could still have issues there. As far as what is going to be weak there in the Qs, simply because that one's a lot redder on the month here, we'll see specifically in system software. So PAN-W, we'll have an inside week. It's a 3-week inside of our pattern to this, so we're trying to get out of that. We'll see. Still an inside month, but they do have a pretty big range in here. So either side of that week gets our attention. Z-Scaler, Momo shooter week. It is at the bottom of the try, but it is a 3-2 monther to the downside. So if they're really going to puke, they'd stay below 193.3. If we go to crowd, also a 3-1, still going to have slight mother bar problems to this thing here, so we'll be careful with that one. It's going to be trading with PNW and ZS, so we'll see how much evidence we got of that. If we go then to IYZ, could have a 1-3-2 to the downside, and this is communication stuff. It tells us to be looking at Charter and Liberta again. So Charter, 2 down, 2 up, 2 down next week with a 3-2 day to get that going potentially. Still a doji month, but it is 2 down, and we know the year looks like this, inside and down. So we'll see if that seller comes back from the beginning of the year. If you go to Liberta, weaker than Charter. Inside week, Momo Shooter, 2-1-2 continuation, would reconfirm the year and down. So Momo Shooter day could trigger the week, confirm what the year is doing. The month is still red and 2 down, so that rejection is still occurring. So we can look for those two. Cisco could be another one in there. Could have a 2 up, 2 down week. Start coming back through these guys. Just not really doing much so far. 4 months stuck inside of this. So we'll stick to the other two that are moving. But as far as bigger names, we'll see in the NASDAQ, Apple. Inside week. So either side of that, it's also going to be in the SPY. So could go 2-2 day to take the day or take the week up. Attempt to negate the month after slight lower lows. You can see 2 up, 2 down month. Hits the magnitude here. Could come back through that. So we'll see. Team is also going to be in the application software. Apologize, I missed this one. 3-2-2 on the week. Could keep the month 2 down and puking. If we go on the year, still a 2 going 3 years. So they're still having issues in team. Other names, Snow, still having some issues. I wouldn't quite call this a Momo Shooter week, but you could. So we'll see if that one wants to go rev strat year still, 119.27 below last week's lows. That would also be a part of the technology. So we'll keep an eye on all those application softwares and technologies, and the bigger names with the chips, those will be important. And then later this week, with the Fed speaking and all that stuff going on, we'll be looking at financials once the Fed comes out. In the morning of the Fed, we can look at our energies to see what's still going and what's not. And then the day after the Fed, you have a big move on the Fed day. Day after, we'll see how many things are reversing that move or confirming that move, because that's really what's important to know about. And then we do have Powell speaking on Friday, which could give us some more volatility into the end of the week. So expecting a slower start to start the week. And then later this week, we'll really send them home. So that'll be about it. I'll see you guys bright and early Tuesday morning. And on Monday, we want to trade simultaneous breaks. So if we see all the chips going, that's what we're going to do. And we'll do some scanning to see who's taking last week's highs and lows and what do we got going on. And I'll try and get those out on Twitter for those of you not into the premium section. So adios, and I'll see you guys then.